Sarah had been a teaching assistant for organic chemistry lab for 2 semesters now. At 23, she took her role seriously, balancing academic standards with genuine care for her students' success. The sterile laboratory, with its precise equipment and safety protocols, demanded both scientific rigor and unwavering attention to detail. One mistake could mean injury, failed experiments, or worse. Last Tuesday started like any other lab session. Sarah stood at the front, her notes prepared, safety reminders fresh in her mind. The familiar scent of chemical reagents filled the air as students filtered in, goggles and lab coats ready. Then, 17 minutes into her carefully timed lecture, the door creaked open. Emma, a sophomore Sarah recognized from previous sessions, slipped in quietly, her face flushed with embarrassment. Sarah felt the familiar tension between compassion and protocol. Late arrivals disrupted the flow, missed crucial safety instructions, and put everyone at risk. But she also remembered being an overwhelmed student herself. Just this once, Sarah thought, nodding for Emma to find her station. What happened next shattered the laboratory's focused atmosphere. Emma dragged her bulging backpack directly to the lab bench, the loud zip-zip of multiple compartments echoing through the silent room. Personal items scattered across the sterile work surface. Gum, phone charger, crumpled papers mixing with the precisely arranged glassware. "Emma, please organize your belongings at the door," Sarah called out, her voice carrying the practiced authority of someone responsible for 20 students' safety. Emma's face crumpled with frustration as she gathered her items, but as she swung the overstuffed backpack onto her shoulder, disaster struck. The bag's momentum sent a delicate distillation apparatus crashing to the floor. Glass shattered, metal clanged, and 20 pairs of eyes turned toward the destruction. The equipment, worth hundreds of dollars, lay in pieces. The silence that followed was deafening. Sarah met Emma in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. The confident facade had completely crumbled, revealing a young woman drowning in something much deeper than academic stress. "I can't focus on anything," Emma whispered, her voice barely audible. "My mind just goes blank. I know I'm screwing everything up, but I can't stop it." Sarah's heart ached with recognition. She'd seen this before. The telltale signs of someone spiraling mentally, academically, emotionally. Her training had prepared her for many things, but not for being a lifeline to a student in crisis. "The Wellness Center can help you," Sarah offered gently, knowing that she was neither qualified nor equipped to handle what Emma was going through. "They have counselors who specialize in exactly what you're experiencing." When Emma began to share intimate details of her struggles, Sarah had to draw the line. "That's not for me to know," she said, the words feeling harsh even as she spoke them. Professional boundaries existed for good reasons, protecting both student and instructor from relationships that could become complicated or inappropriate. Emma asked about making up the missed lab. Sarah suggested the next day's session, contingent on coordination with the other TA. When Emma explained she couldn't make it, Sarah promised they'd find another solution later, but right now, she had 20 other students waiting inside who also deserved her attention. Emma walked away that day, not toward the wellness center, but toward the parking lot. Sarah watched her go, a knot of worry forming in her stomach. Today brought the crisis Sarah had feared. Emma arrived 23 minutes late, wearing leggings instead of the required long pants. A non-negotiable safety violation that could result in chemical burns or worse. The laboratory's insurance and liability policies left no room for exceptions. "I can give you 15 minutes to change," Sarah offered, hoping to find a middle ground. That's when Emma's world collapsed entirely. The breakdown was immediate and devastating. Tears, hyperventilation, and the desperate words that pierce every educator's heart. "It's too late to drop. You're going to give me an F. I can't take it anymore." 20 students pressed against the laboratory door, witnessing their classmates' mental health crisis unfold in real time. Sarah felt the weight of impossible choices: abandon the entire class to console one student, or maintain professional boundaries while someone suffered visibly before her. "I'm calling the wellness center," Sarah said, reaching for her phone with trembling hands. It was the right call. The only call. But Emma's reaction was explosive. "I can't do this anymore." Emma screamed, her voice echoing through the hallway. The words that followed, hints of self-harm, desperate pleas, threats that made Sarah's blood run cold, transformed an academic situation into a mental health emergency. As Emma walked away, still in crisis, Sarah made the call to her supervising professor. She stayed with her class, teaching through her own emotional turmoil, while her supervisor handled the crisis intervention Emma desperately needed. Now Sarah sits outside the professor's office, waiting for a meeting she never expected. Emma has filed a complaint, though the details remain unclear. Did she claim discrimination? Harassment? Inadequate support? Sarah replays every interaction, wondering where compassion crossed into enabling, where boundaries became barriers, where following protocol might have failed a student in crisis. The questions torture her. Should she have broken safety rules to accommodate Emma's clothing violation? Should she have abandoned 20 students to personally escort one to counseling? Should she have ignored professional boundaries to become Emma's informal therapist? Where is the line between being a supportive educator and being professionally responsible? Sarah's story reflects the impossible positions educators find themselves in daily, balancing individual needs against group welfare, personal compassion against institutional policy, immediate crisis against long-term consequences. She did everything by the book, followed every protocol, made every referral, yet somehow, it still wasn't enough. What would you have done in Sarah's position? Was she right to maintain professional boundaries, or should compassion have overridden protocol? Have you ever been caught between doing what feels right and doing what's required? Share your thoughts.